Hello, welcome to Health Talk. I'm Dr. Manny. If you could take a simple genetic test to find out whether a devastating disease will rob you of your future, would you do it? My guest today decided to do just that after watching her father struggle with a hereditary condition called Huntington's disease. Joining me now is actress Marianna Palka, who chronicles her journey in the HBO documentary The Lion's Mouth Opens, along with her good friend, actor Jason Ritter. Welcome, you both.
Thanks for having us.
This is such a strong documentary, and it's sort of exploring areas of human health that we never thought about before, especially from the genetic point of view.
Right.
But I want to start first. What is Huntington's disease?
Huntington's is a hereditary disease, and it is in a lot of camps deemed as incurable, and in other camps it's deemed as curable. So it's one of those things that if you live a healthy lifestyle, you can really slow its effects or slow the onset.
And what are some of the effects, for instance?
Well, we usually describe it as a cross between Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, just because it affects your body and it affects your mind too.
So it's a motor, neurological, sort of, down the slippery slope for a lot of people.
Yes. But I'm really healthy and I'm really into nutrition and I care a lot about lifestyle, so I have a lot of stuff to say about
now,
that.
This story, Marianna, you are telling, which is a lot about the experience of your father developing the disease. You know, how was that, how did that all come about?
Well, I think that I was really rocked when he started showing signs of it. I think that it was the defining moment of my childhood, and I think that this work that I'm doing now is really for him, and it has a lot to do with the ways in which he inspired me. And he was really an incredible human being, like so charismatic and wonderful and really smart. So,
how many years has he been struggling with it?
I would say like since he was in his late 30s.
So one of the things that fascinates me, knowing that there's no cure for Huntington's disease, what made you get tested?
Well, I have an interesting belief system. Mine is that there is a cure for Huntington's disease and that we actually are the cure and lifestyle is the cure. So given that information, it was a little bit easier, I think, for me to be open about doing it, because it felt like something that I could handle, either way.
When she told you that she was going to, do this, what did you say to her?
Well, it was something, that we had talked about for years. I mean, for a decade, and the documentary. It's sort of important to say that the documentary is not about saying people should or shouldn't get tested. It's such an intensely personal choice, and I initially was surprised that she was deciding to do it, but I also knew it took extreme courage, and she wanted to know, and so she took that step.
Right. Yeah. But it seems to me, and you guys have to watch the documentary. This is one of the most beautiful films I ever seen in my life.
Oh my God! Thank you for saying that.
You have to. One of the things that you did, because I think it's very important, you sort of created it. You said, okay, my father is going through this issue. I could find out if I'm a carrier of the gene, so I may have the disease. But you decided to do it in such a supportive way, right? You had a dinner, I think.
Yeah, I cooked for everyone.
You cooked for everybody, and so it's so you said, okay, I'm going to do this, or I did this, and I want to share that with you guys and tell you how I feel. And so how was that? How was that evening? I mean, how were you guys like partying, or were you saying, okay, you guys are young, I'm sure you're partying, but you took it as a it was a lot of support, right?
Yeah, it was a beautiful evening. Marianna, the way she structured it was that we were going to have a dinner and sort of a celebration the night before, and then she was going to go in and get the results of the test, and there was a second night after that. Yeah. But that first night was really beautiful. I mean, there was lots of laughing, and there were people expressing fears and all this stuff, and then we played games and ate a delicious meal.
All the guys who showed up had plaid shirts on. and I'm from Scotland, so I was really excited about that. And I didn't tell them to wear plaid shirts, but it was like this subconscious sport.
What is the global message that you're trying to achieve with the film? Awareness?
Well, certainly it's awareness, and certainly it's opening a dialogue about Huntington's disease and how to care for Huntington's disease patients with a greater sense of dignity and nurturing. And I think I'm kind of anti-genetic testing, funnily enough.
Right.
I really, in general, don't necessarily think it's the greatest thing to move into. I think that life is uncertain, and even after anyone gives you a result of anything, you're still going to be uncertain about things. You know, I think as human beings, we're searching always for a certainty that we don't necessarily find. But I do think that the message of the film is kind of about being together and sharing the loads that we have. Everyone has some pain in their life, and I think that life is much easier if you share it with your friends, and you can actually talk about the stuff that maybe a decade ago we couldn't talk about or we weren't supposed to talk about. I'm always into having a dialogue and a conversation about things, you know.
For people that haven't watched the special, it's all on HBO On Demand. It's being shown, of course, on different times on HBO in the month of June, and you got to catch it, you got to watch it, and you go to website.
The hdsa.org.
Right, so that's where people can get more information, right?
And people can also help with the HD Parity Act. They can call Capitol Hill and ask for that to be supported, because it's really good and it's all about human rights.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and we are on Twitter and everything, and they can follow.
You're on social media. You're everywhere.
Yeah, can I follow you?
I'll follow you.
I want to follow you.
And follow them on this documentary, which is magnificent. So I thank you both for coming. Great
Thanks
information.
For having us.
And if you have any health topics you want to talk about, email me here at Fox at drmanny@foxnews.com. Until next time, I'm Dr. Manny.